Welcome back to HTH Sports, Hot Takes and Headaches. I'm Stevie Picks. I'm here with my co-host Eric, and then we got Stick behind the camera. A little bit of a different vibe week. We're closing in on the end of football. We only got Super Bowl next week, but we're going to talk about some NFL news today. We're going to talk about some college football news that went on. Then we're going to talk about the NBA playoff format, and then we're going to talk about some of the free agents still in MLB. So we're going to jump around a little bit more of the world of sports today, but we're going to start off in the NFL. Today, Eric and I are going to go through all the head coaching hires that have happened, and we're going to give them a letter grade based on how we feel the fit and if we think they're going to succeed. And we're going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons and the Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I gave Stefanski an A.
Yeah.
We obviously had some problems with him this year because of how he handled Shedeur, but he just might not. I don't know. We're not inside the locker room. But this is a former coach of the year. He obviously gave Cleveland, playoff run, that they haven't seen in forever. So to take a team like that with a culture like that and turn them around a little bit. Obviously, it's slipping, a little bit, but it's a good hire. They're up and coming. They have a lot of young players, so I like a guy like Stefanski with experience to really coach these guys up. So I feel confident in Stefanski. But yeah.
Yeah. I went B+, and honestly, I could lean more in the A, like the A- range. They still are trying to figure out their GM and other things like that, but if you're Stefanski, you upgraded. You totally went up in situation. They even have new operations. Matt Ryan's running the thing now, so that's cool. And he knows what it's like to be a Falcon, so that's great. He's got all those young pieces, and you're in a great division to try to go win. You don't got to play Lamar Jackson anymore. You don't got to go to Pittsburgh. So I think he's in a great situation. He's an offensive-minded guy. That's great with Bijan and Drake London. And, the quarterback is going to be a little bit of a question mark still. I don't know if Penix is, I don't think it's guaranteed he's going to be back week 1 off his injury. It was a little bit later in the year.
Not, especially with his history. It's a one-time.
So you got Kirk Cousins, though, and I'm sure he can, he definitely can make it happen with Kirk Cousins. I won't be shocked if Kirk plays all right and then Penix kind of doesn't even see the field next year. But that's all hypothetical what could happen. So I think I would actually get a lean. I'm A-. I'd give Stefanski. I think he is going to do a great job there. Easier division. Even we talk about the Bucs with Bulls. They kind of fell off a little bit last year. But I'm going to go A-. But anything else on Stefanski?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I've said it all. It was impressed what he did with the Browns for the time he did. And
I think this is a good fit.
It's a way better situation for him. So
what an upgrade! I feel like you got to be happy if you're Stefanski. I don't think you're ever happy to fail somewhere. But
but to win Coach of the Year with a team like the Browns, that's impressive. So Yeah.
Well, we'll move on, and I think one of the hottest jobs out there was the Baltimore Ravens, and Jesse Minter, the DC from the Chargers, gets the job.
Yeah, I gave Jesse a B. I like him. He's obviously had some experience in big ways. Like he was there at LSU. He was also he's been up and down, but he's improved a lot. So he's been very good. So I'm very curious to see how he does. I like the idea of a younger guy getting a shot. Because these older guys, when they get these jobs, we kind of know who they are. So I'm excited to see Minter in Baltimore. So he's worked under Harbaugh, so he obviously has that experience. And now you get something fresh. You're trying something new. So I like Minter. I think it's a B.
Yeah, I actually went B+. I think this is a great idea to get a defensive guy in there. A guy who the Chargers were awesome this year on defense. Great defensive scheme. So he's shown that in NFL. His name kind of really hit the map when it was at LSU, and then the other Harbaugh went and got him. So I really like this fit. I like a defensive guy for Baltimore. I don't think they've announced an OC yet as we're recording this, but that's a big deal. He's got to go find the right guy to gel with Lamar. Because I always think if you got a defensive guy, you can't be all up in the quarterback's ear because you coach the defense where you're from. So I think that's the only fear I have. If you can gel with Lamar, but he is younger, I think that's a green flag for them. I go B+, and I almost just go B+ because he just hasn't proven anything yet. Yeah. But I think the fit...
It's exciting.
And he's on a great team. He's in a great spot with Lamar, 2-time MVP. You can't complain.
Yeah, the Chargers defense was very, very good. And there's been guys ever since Harbaugh took over, they've been pretty good. But with that same group of guys that really couldn't get it done. So I think we'll see how he leads. Obviously, it's hard to tell when a guy is not in a head coaching position. But yeah, I think it's a good hire. And like you said, they already have so much talent in offense. All you got to do is find that coordinator, and then you be that defensive, guy that just gets everybody going. So I think it's a good hire.
Yeah, and you got a captain on the defense, Kyle Hamilton. So you got your stud piece that's going to make plays. So I like that a lot. But we'll move on to your guys' division, the Miami Dolphins, getting to DC, Jeff Hafley from the Packers.
Yeah, this feels a little weird to me. I gave Jeff Hafley a C. He really only had the 1 year in Green Bay, and their defense was very good, but when Micah got hurt, they fell off a little bit. Obviously, you lose a guy like that, it's going to. I just feel like he hasn't proven enough in the NFL, and then looking at his record at Boston College, he wasn't very good. He was 22-26, so I'm weary on this, and I guess their defense was the weak point of their team, so maybe they're trying to boost that with Hafley, but I don't feel like this was the right move, personally.
Yeah, I was shocked at the move. I gave it a C as well. And their defense was struggled, but they don't really have anything besides Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
So, and Anthony Weaver was in conversations to be head coaches at places. So clearly people think highly of him to even get interviewed. I mean, I guess he's getting interviewed too. So, I mean, kudos to him. But yeah, like I said, I mean, he got fired from Boston College because Bill O'Brien took over him. They weren't very good, but college is tough because who was going to win at Boston College that much? So that's one thing. And then, yeah, the Packers were good this year, but kind of when Micah went down, you were worried about their defense, I felt. They didn't, blow me away after Micah got hurt. I just think the fit is so weird. I mean, when you think about the Dolphins, maybe we're just thinking Mike McDaniel still. I mean, it's going to be total change in culture, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to have... you got A-Chain, you got Waddle. I mean, you technically have Hill. We were talking about it before the show starts. I don't know what the deal is with him. So I feel like you had to lean into the more offensive side, but I guess they're going defense. I think they're in disarray down there in Miami.
Yeah, it's a complete 180 from what it was before, and I guess the last 2 seasons have not been pretty. I do kind of like what he said about Tua, because Tua has not proven a lot. So him making those comments saying like he's going to compete for the position, that is a good sign, I would say. Not just giving it to him because of where he was drafted and how he's performed in the past.
Yeah,
he needs to prove it, and so I did like that. But I'm very curious to see. They got to get some guys on defense, I think. Like, you could have the best coach in the world, and that does make people play better, but they got to get some guys, I think, for sure.
A lot's going to be on their GM because, I mean, you're forking out that money to Tua now. He's not going to play, so you waste a lot of money there. But I just think he's not in a great spot either, so that's probably bringing the grade down a little bit. But lots to prove. He can prove us wrong.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are hoping he doesn't probably. The Dolphins are probably going to be.
The Dolphins good. That's not what I need. Keep him down.
But all right, we'll move on. And next up is my New York Football Giants and John Harbaugh hired, probably the hottest name on the market.
Yeah, this was an easy A+. I mean, this is a long tenured guy who's had a ton of success in the NFL. Is a Super Bowl champion. Every year they're in the conversation, to go to the Super Bowl. To be fair, he has blown leads in the past, and they haven't gotten there since, the 2013 season with Joe Flacco. But now you're in a big market like New York. You have a promising young quarterback. You have Malik Nabers. You have an awesome defensive line. You got to get some secondary pieces. Obviously, maybe it'll help in the linebacker, but your guys' line has come along well.
Yeah.
So I feel this is a really good spot for John Harbaugh to just do what he's always done. I mean, we all know the Harbaugh brothers in general, their tenure and their resume, and it's very good. So when you bring a guy like that to change a culture, like the New York Giants, because the Giants are supposed to be a good team. That is a team that should be good because it's just the big market and not like the Jets, but it's like But so yeah, I'm excited to see Harbaugh there. I think that he'll be there for a long time, so I give it A+.
Yeah, I mean, I give it A+ too. Even I would probably give anybody an A+. I would have to believe, but I just think this is a great situation. We need we could have went and got a super crafty offensive mind, but we needed a leader, I felt like, because we are so young. Who's our biggest leader that's older is Dexter Lawrence, maybe?
Yeah.
And he's not even so we need guys that especially come in and be leaders, and we got guys that are becoming leaders. Abdul Carter's going to have to step up. Jackson Dart's going to have to step up in that locker room, and I think Harbaugh's a great guy to be a culture setter. We did miss out on our OC. We're going to talk about Todd Monken later. I really thought he was going to be following him. I forget his name. I forget the guy. We did hire a DC. He was defensive coach from Tennessee. But not that they were so great this year. But they did play hard, so I'm not too worried about it. They're saying that he's a deep defensive back guru, because he was a D-backs coach before with Harbaugh with the Ravens. So they have a relationship. So I like that. So we got to go find our OC. I think Harbaugh fell through with who we thought he was going to get. There's a lot of people I would love Cliff Kingsbury, honestly, if he wanted to come be our OC. But, I give it an A+. I'm very excited as a Giants fan. Division is tough. I know I had that take, but we are in a good division. But We do have one of the tougher schedules again next year, but we got enough pieces. Hopefully Neighbors comes back on time. We got a top 5 pick. I like his spot a lot. I like where we're at. But with that being said, we'll move on to the Tennessee Titans. And we already talked about it. They got Robert Saleh, and they also OC Brian Dabo.
Yeah. I know we're grading the head coach right now, but my grade did shoot up when Dabo got hired. Just
that's his hire. That's what we wanted with him.
Yeah, and that is amazing. That is a great mesh because we obviously know Robert Saleh is a hell of a defensive coordinator. And he's clearly a leader of men. The only thing is I feel bad now, but he was with the Jets, so I do give him some grace in that sense. It's not an easy organization to perform well in. And he was there for a couple years, which is pretty long.
And they did have good defense.
They did have really good defense.
The year Rodgers went down, their defense was very good.
And they drafted well with Saleh there, so that's hopeful. And then you get a guy like Brian Dable, who's done magic with young quarterbacks.
Also has drafted well at the Giants.
And he's so good with young quarterbacks. So I really like him in an OC spot. Obviously, he killed it in Buffalo, Alabama. Yeah. So it's a good mesh, and like you told me before the show, Saleh's calling the defensive plays.
He said he did not do that in New York.
Yeah, so that is amazing. And then you just have Dable, who's just a head coach, and made the playoffs with a team that was solid but not
overachieved. Overachieved. I mean, so, there's no hiding that.
Yeah, so I really like the fit with both of them. So I'm excited to see the Titans this year. I think they could be sneaky.
Yeah, I had a B written down, and then I think I filled out a sheet about 2 days ago, and then they announced Dabo. That probably brought a letter grade, and I like that Saleh's calling the plays. He said in the interview today that when he was in New York, he felt like the red flag and the timeouts guy, and that he was not that locked into the game. He feels like he's more fiery when he is calling the plays, and you see it with the Niners. I mean, he's out there yelling and screaming, and I think this is a great person to be with him if he is going to be calling the plays, because Daboll can basically just be the head coach of the offense.
Yeah.
He has head coaching experience, and they both are in the biggest market, you could say. They both are coming from New York. Now they're taking a step down market-wise, going to the Titans with, you got a quarterback that you have to believe in, who showed flashes this year, is going to be coming off the injury, but I don't think that's going to restrain any practices or anything, so he should be full go. And yeah, I like the spot a lot. I'm going A- for Robert Saleh. Great, I think it's a great OC hire too. And they got a top pick again. I think they should go out and get a defensive guy, because you got your offensive guy, and maybe you can do some damage. And Wandell, they have money. Wandell's going to be open and stuff like that. Now he's totally going to be a tight end.
I saw that Wandell today was most likely to return to the Giants.
I hope so.
That was, but
I hope so, because then we could use the number 5 pick elsewhere.
Wandell does make sense there, though.
Yeah. Now with Daboll there, it would make a lot of sense. Yeah. But I like the mesh a lot there in Tennessee. And I mean, it's not like we've seen Tennessee just be awful. When Vrabel was there, they've won before. Yeah. It wouldn't shock me. So I'm giving A-. I think Saleh's going to really figure it out. He's going to be there for a long time, I think. A tougher division now, though, with the Texans and stuff. But and Saleh, Cohen, that's going to be interesting after the squabble this year.
That twice a year.
Yep. But all right, we'll move on. Pittsburgh gets their head coach, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I gave this an F. Just because it feels like such a lateral move.
Yeah.
We know what Mike McCarthy is. He does have a Super Bowl ring in 2010 or 2011, whatever one it was, with Aaron Rodgers. But he has always had very good teams. To be fair, the Packers' defense was not the greatest. But we saw him in Dallas, and just a regular season warrior Mike McCarthy is. Just, I don't know. It feels like the worst version of Tomlin to me. Tomlin feels like more of a leader. I don't see Mike McCarthy getting... I don't know. He doesn't seem like that intense of a guy to me. Maybe I'm wrong. But this just feels like a lateral move. Maybe they just want him, like you said, you made the comment earlier, that want him there for Rodgers.
I think that's it.
Yeah, which does make sense because Rodgers has worked with him for an extensive period of time. I've never been a big Mike McCarthy guy. I thought Dallas should have fired him earlier than they did just because of how good they had, the roster-wise, and then not to even make it to a championship game. Yeah. It's just that's a letdown every year, so... I don't like this hire.
Yeah, I went D+. I don't love it either. I do I said that funny thing, technically Tomlin is still under contract there. Maybe you hire an old guy if Tomlin just says next year he wants to come back. You just let Mike McCarthy go. I don't understand it either. Maybe I'm being too nice with the D+. So why? I don't understand why they want Rodgers back. You're just delaying the inevitable of we have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe you run it back one more year. So if you do suck, you have a pick next year. I don't know. I think you throw Will Howard out there. I've been saying it, or you go find somebody. you're not winning a Super Bowl with Rodgers anymore. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it was only to try to attract Rodgers. I don't think anybody should hire McCarthy because I remember when I was talking about the Giants did not want him. I agree with you. It's a downgrade. I mean, most people are going to be a downgrade than Tomlin, I think. Don't like the move. I think it's purely for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and listen, I think the Steelers could have a very good regular season. That's what Mike McCarthy has one of the best regular season records of all time.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't get to that big game with very good rosters in the past. And Pittsburgh Steelers are not blowing anybody away roster-wise. They made it this year with Rodgers, and maybe you think you could get to the divisional next year. I don't know. I honestly think that it's going to be copy and paste Pittsburgh Steelers season. So that's why it feels so lateral and a little bit of a downgrade from Tomlin.
Yeah. It's definitely not a rebuild coach. He doesn't have enough years on it. Like, he doesn't, it's not... Mike McCarthy was a coach for a team I felt like they could go win now because he's won a Super Bowl, he's older. Like, honestly, he would have made sense for more Buffalo or the Ravens, a team that you felt like already has the stuff to go win it. And I even wouldn't have loved it there. Here, I don't understand it at all. But me and Eric don't like that pick. I mean, what would that be? Hiring. Why did I say pick? Don't like the hiring of Mike McCarthy for the Steelers. But we'll move on. Eric's favorite team, the Buffalo Bills, and Joe Brady. They move up from their OC.
Yeah, I gave this a C+. And I do like Brady. I think he is very good at like their running game blew up when he took over. So I do think he is a very innovative offensive mind. But what changes?
That's the question.
What?
Now it's up to them to figure out what is going to be the defense. Who is going to...
Right.
Yeah, so basically the offense is not changing. Yeah. So that's how I feel like you can't, the offense was not the problem. No. And it's never going to be the problem there. So it's like, did McDermott call the plays? I'm actually not 100% sure.
No, Brady did.
No, on defense.
Oh.
But either way, it was his scheme, I bet. So it's all dependent on who they're going to bring in to be the defensive side, I think.
Yeah.
So it's all contingent on that, and I don't know who they've been leaning, or if they did, well...
I feel like McDermott did. I don't know why I even...
Yeah. Either way, I feel like the scheme is going to have to change, and they need to be better on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this draft for them is like a receiver and then just defense.
Well, yeah, because now you got to trade Ken Coleman. Their owner told the world that he sucks.
Yeah.
How terrible was that?
Yeah, well, he hasn't been the greatest. But
has not been the greatest.
He's still young, so. But yeah, like the last one, Brady is younger-ish, and maybe he's a great leader. I don't know. So maybe that's what changes. Maybe he's the voice in the locker room.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people like McDermott as a leader. So it's very interesting. Like I said, I don't know what changes.
I wonder if that was part of it. Like, they just needed a scapegoat, and they felt like it was time to move on from McDermott, but they didn't want to change the vibes in the locker room because it doesn't seem like they were they were probably a close-knit group. A lot of them been there for a while. Mm-hmm. So they just keep a guy there that's already been there. Yeah, so if you're a Bills fan, you don't worry about the offense. You worry about how the pace of the game is going to change for you. Is he more aggressive than Dermott? And all that stuff is going to change. But you don't have to fear that your offense is going to take, I think, any movement down. But you got to figure out the defensive side. So, but we'll move on to the last coaching job that was hired. The latest one, actually, I was filling this out, and then it happened after the fact. Cleveland Browns hired Todd Monken, the OC from the Ravens.
Yeah, I like Monken. I feel like he did a lot of good things in Baltimore. So I also like an offensive-minded guy for the Browns. I know they just had Stefanski, who was. But their defense is never the problem, seemingly.
Yeah.
So I feel like that there's a lot less question marks on the defensive side of the ball. And maybe you want a coach to really do that. Monken is innovative, though. He can do a lot of things with that offense. That offense is putrid every year. So I like him to... I don't know who they're going to go with, whether it's Shador, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel. I don't know which one will be the quarterback. But I like Monken to coach them up. I mean, he helped coach Lamar, so it should be interesting. I like Monken. I give it a B+.
Yeah, I give it a B-, and more because I think that the Browns thought they could keep the defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, is what I pulled up. And Jim Schwartz was not happy he got passed over. I think he felt like it was his job to take. And I kind of agree with him. You're doing so good with the defense. I feel like I would have gave him the keys and let him figure out an offensive side. And of course, Monken is also older as well. I mean, he's getting his first shot. I think he's in his 60s. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I almost was worried about the defense now. Now he's got to fully revamp they got to bring in a new DC, and Jim Schwartz was doing great there. And just the age, I just don't see him gelling. I don't know how many people I see gelling well with Shador. Like, I've seen it now. Todd Monken's 59. I don't know who. I mean, unless Shador's not your plan, but he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
But
he is a Pro Bowler.
I fear again that this is not the right guy to be with Shador. That's why I would have went a defensive guy, and then you brought in a younger OC that you felt like could have a better connection with Shador.
I agree. Monken has not had an opportunity like this, though, and I feel like
he's getting his first shot. So you never know.
They're probably going to want to lean on the run with Quinshon Judkins.
Even though you got a couple backs.
He loves running the ball and taking deep shots, which kind of fits Shador's game, but that's kind of what they were doing already.
Yeah.
Interesting. I just like Monken. I like what he did in Baltimore, so I give it a. I like anybody who worked under a head coach like Harbaugh. If you did that for a while, I do.
Coaching trees matter.
Yeah, so that's why.
But and then with that being said, the teams yet to get a head coach, there's 2 left: the Cardinals and the Raiders. Came out today. The Raiders are purely waiting on Kubiak, and it seems like it's his job to lose. No, I assume the Cardinals are thinking the same thing, though. I think it's a battle for Kubiak, and honestly, I think the Raiders are a better spot than the Cardinals are.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they have the first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean,
we already know they're pretty much Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, that's your quarterback.
So you have a young guy that you can go in and help mold and change the culture in Las
Bowers,
Vegas.
You got Genti. Both terrible divisions to go coach in, though.
Yeah.
Both bad divisions to go stick your nose in. But so I feel like Kubiak's going to be the head coach of one of them. I'm really not sure of the other one. Jonathan Gannon, I know he got hired as the DC for the Eagles, I thought. I think so. Don't quote me on that. But, we'll move on, though. Bill Belichick, before we move on from the NFL. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer. How did you feel about your guy getting snubbed?
Listen, I mean, I didn't feel good. Not that I didn't feel good. I felt like the rest of the world almost. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's just a shock.
Yeah, it's shocking, obviously. We've seen how difficult it is to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the NFL, but this is a guy who has...
I mean, if he's not, who is? Like,
that's the question.
My thing.
Who has, more wins with Super Bowls? Like, he has the most playoff wins ever.
Yeah, I think it's 31 or something like that.
Yeah, 31 or 33 or something. The resume is just insane. This feels like more of a personal thing. I don't know.
Yeah, what I was telling Eric today, there was one voter that I read that came out and said it was because he was worried about guys that haven't gotten in yet that are going to pass away, which I get, I guess. But, I mean, if that's not how he votes, I don't think that's how he should be voting, though. This guy is... I mean, I can't say Spygate or anything like that. I mean, every team did it. He just got caught. Maybe he should have been a better cheater, I guess. But... I mean, if he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I just don't know who is. Like, there's no better coach. Like, I'm not even saying there could be a better coach, I guess you feel, but he has the best resume of all time in the NFL. And it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so UNC does not matter at all. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
And he's no spring chicken either. He's 73 years old.
Yeah, that's a good point. His girlfriend's a spring chicken, though.
Well, yes, that's why. She's 50-year age gap there. But... So saying that, like, I'm worried about other players that might pass away. Bill Belichick is just as good of any chance as anybody to pass away. He's 73 years old.
Yeah.
Looks good. He's still active and stuff. But, yeah, it really just doesn't make any sense. And you see it in the sports world where everybody's blowing up. Everybody. I haven't heard one person say, like...
I haven't seen anybody agree with it.
Yeah.
Even I've seen, like, every fan you can think of. Like, I mean, you got to show respect where respect is due. The guy is the greatest coach of all time. There's no doubting. Yeah. The Patriots have the greatest dynasty in football history, and he was the head coach. And also Kraft didn't get in. I guess he was eligible for it too, as an owner or something like that. I didn't even know they got into the Pro Football.
I didn't either.
To be honest, but it's crazy that he wasn't in. Now I'm very curious when Brady's times come around. If these people think it's Spygate, Deflategate, Brady's a part of that too. Are they going to not give him first ballot?
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's just as crazy as Belichick.
Yeah.
So
it makes you think. It's going to be a big deal. Like, if people come out, they say it's because of all those gates, Spygate, Deflategate, why the head... I mean, I guess the head coach probably had final say if they were doing it, but if you're basically saying that's taken away from him, so how does that take away from Brady? Very curious when that comes around.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't think he should be snubbed. By the way, he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody in their right mind would actually say that. So it's super
Well, there's
alarming.
the people who are fucking voting on it.
It's super alarming that the people voting on this did, because you took a poll across the United States that watched football or like knew who Bill Belichick was, it would have to be like 99%.
It's just like who are these people calling the shots? Like they got to be people that were in the game and like know the game, right? Like I've never stepped a foot inside an NFL organization, and I feel like respect would have to be like just throughout the league of this guy. Like he just won. I mean, I guess you could dislike him if it gets all the gates. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like as people who purely watch on the couch, it's just insane to me that he wasn't put in the first time he could have been put in.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to college football news, and Eric's other team. He's rooting for new cheaters, I guess. The Ole Miss Rebels and Pete Golden now off to a hot start. Dabo Sweeney got in front of the mic and talking about Luke Farrelly, a linebacker from Iowa, I believe. He signed, enrolled at Clemson, moved there, attended classes, started off-season work, then re-entered the portal and committed to Ole Miss. Golden allegedly, this is all allegedly, texting Farrelly while he was in class about what his buyout would be, saying how much would it cost. The text, I guess the text Clemson said they offered would be around $1 million or something like that. So crazy. Dabo's throwing out. I mean, it's got to be true. I think this is happening all across it. The NCAA is saying it will investigate it. If the allegations are credible, there'll be punishment. I don't think anything's going to come for him, to be honest. But I honestly think that everybody does this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You're right. This cheating stuff follows me everywhere I go, apparently. But obviously, everybody's doing this with the way college football is. The money talks. So this is not the first time this has happened. This won't be the last. Sweeney is obviously very upset to, go out publicly and make a big deal about it. But I get it. You're upset about losing a guy you were maybe very excited to have. But shout out Pete Golden, man. You gotta make plays,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know they said like Chambliss was texting him and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why does that matter? I get it. Like it is shocking that like the dude's in class. Like I feel like you should give up on him. But hey,
there had to be some type of
communication prior.
Yeah,
it's not
that
like
made Golden feel like you just wouldn't randomly text him like, hey, like what's your? Unless he's just doing that to every person ever. So
I just think if you open this door up, what everybody's gonna be getting.
We're gonna see Dabo Sweeney's text. Let's see it.
You got players announcing like, what do you think happens when players go into the portal and have do not contact on? You don't think they want coaches to hit them up? They haven't talked to anybody. They know where they're going already. Yeah. It's happening. I think this one's a little egregious. I mean, a little past, but also Ole Miss was in the playoffs. He probably wasn't too worried about. Like, he probably wasn't thinking all this much. He's probably hard in on recruiting now. So, I don't think anything's going to come from it. Do I think it should? I don't know. I just think teams are doing it a lot, but maybe this is the worst case. But the problem I do have is this new college football playoff rules, the Notre Dame rule. We're just rewarding them for not being in the ACC.
Yeah, that's insane.
Basically, the rule is now, if they are in the top 12, they are guaranteed a spot. So, if this was in effect this year, Miami, the team that represented the best two teams in the national championship, Miami wouldn't have even made it. Notre Dame would have took their spot.
Yeah, you can't not be in a conference and get this special treatment. Their schedule is so easy every single year.
Yeah, they can just, and people aren't playing them now. USC backed out. Miami is like a rumor that they're trying to back out. They're going to have a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Absolute cakewalk.
So Notre Dame apparently will be in the playoffs for the next 50 years if this keeps up.
And I know why fans are mad about, like, people are really mad about the USC Notre Dame not happening. Why would USC go play them? I totally get it. Why would they go play Notre Dame? Notre Dame can load up with cupcake, and then play USC. USC can travel across the country to Penn State, come back home, play Ohio State. Oh, next week you've got to go to Notre Dame after they just beat Boston College by 50, have had 3 bye weeks in a row. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't play them either. Miami almost didn't make it because they played them. If they scheduled a cupcake, we would have never had the conversation, and they would have been in. Well, actually, maybe not. They probably needed them to get in this year. That was probably pretty stupid because they had 2 losses. Yeah. So they did get bailed out this year with that. But maybe they just beat SMU this year and don't turn the ball over in the end zone. But yeah, absolutely crazy. It's ridiculous that's happened. And really, the only reason they grant it is because of this. Notre Dame's got a TV deal with NBC, so they make a lot of money for the cop. It's ridiculous. I can't stand that rule. I'm hoping that it gets changed already next year. But also, the group of fives are staying, so this year we would have got 3 teams passed over if there was a rule. Notre Dame would have got granted in, and then we would have JMU and Tulane. But with that being said, we'll move on. Quick transfer portal news I want to talk about. Sam Levitt going to LSU. Lane Kiffin is the number 1 guy in the portal.
Yeah.
Watch out for LSU. I think they're going to be pretty good next year. Sorsby, Texas Tech. Oil money's coming out. Brendan Sorsby. It's great. That was a great quarterback find. I think he's better than what they had this year. So if they can keep that defense rolling, I like Texas Tech a lot again. And then I actually think might be the biggest signing of the whole transfer portal is Cam Coleman going to Texas, the wide receiver from Auburn. One thing about Texas, they didn't have great receivers this year. I think we all said that. I think Parker Livingston might have been considered their best one, and he had a great game against Arkansas.
Where's he now? OU?
I'm not exactly sure, but Cam Coleman is a bona fide stud. Absolute. He was an animal at Auburn. He did have those couple drops that game we remember against Alabama, but shout out Cam Coleman. He is the one that fumbled too. But DJ Lagway is going to Baylor. He's probably going to tear it up there. We already talked about Loyola to Oregon. Daria Mensah from Duke, he entered the draft a little bit. It sounded like he was thinking about it. Well, it didn't enter, but he was hearing it. It sounds like he wasn't going to be a top pick. Transfers to Miami. I think that's a great move for Miami and Mensah. I think they're going to be good again. And then Deuce Knight, big time QB prospect going to Ole Miss. Good job by Pete Golden in that portal.
Golden's balling right now.
Yeah, Deuce Knight was supposed to be
stopped.
I think Auburn, right? I think that's where he's from. I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm 100% sure because they did put Ashton Daniels in, and everybody thought Deuce Knight was going to be the backup. But so he's a redshirt freshman, so that could be the quarterback of the future for the Rebels. And then we already talked about Josh Hoover to Indiana. They also got Nick Marsh's name as a wide receiver from Michigan State. So Cignetti's just loading up again on great players. So that's probably all we're going to talk about for college football for a while since something crazy happens. Yeah. So portal's closing up now. There's some of the bigger names that got moved. If I was to place a bet right now, I am not a Texas fan. I like Texas to win it all next year. I think Arch is going to take a huge step forward. I love the Cam Coleman. Give him a great weapon, Cam Coleman. They'll be able to run the ball, I think, get it to him out in space on the edge. That's a great signing by them. Anything you like Deuce Knight for the Rebels?
Yeah, I do. Obviously I'd prefer Trinidad Chambliss, but that didn't work out in our favor. So it's nice to have a young, promising guy.
Where did Simmons go? He went to Missouri, Austin Simmons.
Yeah. Did he end up officially? I saw it rumored.
I believe so. It could be. Don't quote me. I don't have that.
Yeah. Deuce Knight, promising. Guy gets a lot of attention for a reason. So I'm excited what he can do, and I'm looking forward to the new future of the Rebels.
Yeah.
Getting a good linebacker from Clemson, that's huge, and then getting Deuce Knight. So along with a few other things. Yeah.
Well, we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about the NBA a little bit. And honestly, I don't have it written down. The biggest news, honestly, right now is that Giannis officially came out and said he wants out. Wow. He wants out. The leaders right now to get him are honestly the Warriors, people are saying, or have a great package to give him. Because basically you can trade contracts, Jimmy and Giannis, and they would get what B-Pod, they called him, Przemski would be it, Kuminga, and they have a ton of picks. They said they're willing to give up their first-round picks 2031.
Yeah.
Which I do think is crazy, but I think you also owe Steph Curry to give him another year or two to win it all. He's done so much for that franchise. I think it's worth to give up the future to try to bring Giannis in, pair them together, and go win a chip.
Yeah. I honestly like Giannis. I want Giannis to go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal. I would feel so much better about that bet I placed just randomly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be huge. It's obviously a huge game to watch.
I think the teams that are really out there, honestly, the Knicks are out there for one of them. It would be Cat and McCall probably. McAlbridge is also one of the worst trades of all time. The fact that we gave up 5 first-round picks for him, he's not that good. But I think the Hawks have a lot of leverage to be able to do it. I don't know if Giannis can say yes or no, though, because I know it would be Jalen Johnson and a ton of picks. But that's probably the biggest news right now. And then we also wanted to talk about the new All-Star Game format. I was curious what you guys think, if you guys like it. little tournament play between 2 American players teams and then 1 world team, minimum of 8 players. So does that mean like there has to be 8 world players that get voted? I'm not sure on all that, but yeah, does it catch your eye at all? Like, makes you want to pay attention?
I don't know why I thought they did this last year too. Am I just making?
Did they do it last year?
I can't remember. They changed this.
I think they did World versus USA last year, but it was not like a tournament play style. I thought.
Wasn't it with the rookies though?
It was 4 teams. Yeah, it was
4 teams.
All-Stars. It was Chuck's Global Stars, Shaq's OGs, Kenny's Young Stars, and Team Canada.
So they did it with the All-Star teams and the Rising Stars.
Yeah.
So now the Rising Stars are out and they're doing 3 All-Star teams. That's crazy.
They changed this game format so many times.
Yeah.
The one year they kind of fixed it was when they had
the Kobe year.
Yeah.
We watched that down in my room on the random black TV, the huge TV I used to have on my dresser down there.
Where the winning team won a substantial donation for their choice of a what do you call it? Charity. Yeah. Yes.
It was also fun to watch. Like I liked that they got to a score and then it was like, all right, next one to score. Like whoever was leading, it was 24 points. Like was the score you needed to win, and they played to get that 24. And I think maybe it was because the first year after Kobe passed away, and that played into it. But yeah, this doesn't catch my eye at all.
No, not at all. I think they're gonna change this game 100 different times
every year until it somehow works.
It's honestly, it's just kind of dead. Like I'm out. Like I don't see this ever.
Yeah, because the dunk
being that attractive
also stinks now.
Yeah. So. I don't know where you really go. You obviously want to. It's still a big thing. You get a lot of celebrities. That's mainly the pull. Is you get a lot of celebrities there, so everybody's paying attention. All the media days they have, and it's just like a fun weekend. Basketball wise, though, it's not very. It's not competitive at all. It never will be. I don't think. I think that the days of these games being entertaining, this and the Pro Bowl are just never. It's just don't expect it to be good. So they're gonna keep trying things though. So I guess shout out them for that.
Yeah, so, and then other than that, a little MLB check-in. Nothing has really happened of late since we've talked about it. Some big names out there still. Framber Valdez, probably the biggest. Zach Gallen's out there. Eugenio Suarez, who I do think is a great fit for the Red Sox to go get.
Yes.
I think they need to go get Suarez. I think it makes a ton of sense there. A ton of sense. A really right-handed bat in that line, I think that makes a ton of sense for them. And then you got Verlander, Scherzer, and you got Giolito still. I know he didn't pitch a ton last year. Chris Bassett, Nick Martinez, a good arm. I don't really know who Zach Little is, to be quite honest. And then Marcell Ozuna, and then Paul Goldschmidt.
Luis Perez is a good bat.
Oh, yeah. I'm shocked that he hasn't gotten signed. Yeah. Luis Perez, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great contact hitter.
Yeah.
I don't know where he really gels the best, but maybe he's asking for... people hold out way longer down in the MLB. It's kind of crazy. But Valdez is kind of rumored to be Orioles. I think the Giants are up there, and the Mets are kind of sound like in third. If he wants to take a short-term deal and get a bunch of money, he's coming to the Mets, it sounds like. I mean, opt out after every year. But I don't know why people aren't nervous about the lockout, signing those deals. Like, Bo Bichette did it, so I guess you can't. I mean, are you really that worried getting paid $42 million? Probably not. But, yeah, Suarez is the name I think the Red Sox need to go get.
I agree. I mean, I've seen, there's been rumors.
Yeah, makes the most sense, I think.
We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we get another bat in the lineup because we need it drastically. So
I just still think guys are good, but he would fit a lot.
Yeah, but we're going to be starting... Our infield is just not good.
Do you think the Angels get anyone?
Nope. They got some young players that I like, but...
Joe Adell's fun to watch.
They're just not going to be competitive.
Yeah,
I like Sean Newell and Zach Neto, but Joe Adell, pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Which one did you hate? Was it Zach Neto or was it the other
No,
one?
I not Zach Gelof.
Zach Gelof.
And MLB The Show 25, when you play not mud squads, you play co-op, you get 3 players from each of your teams and you get 3 gold players, and Zach Gelof was the second baseman.
He was nice though.
He was terrible.
Oh, his animation was
He would
so
get crazy
clean.
defensive animations.
It was so clean.
But yeah, that's all I got for today. A little different type of episode. I think it was fun ranking the coaching hires.
Yeah, we'll probably do these occasionally from now on out, just because football season's ending. There's a lot of off-season happening everywhere. So besides you got the NBA, NHL.
Yeah. I totally didn't say in the beginning, like, comment, subscribe. I totally skipped right over it. I wrote it down and everything. Shout out to everybody. We've been doing the best on on these videos. Like getting the most views in under a day we've ever done. So shout out to everybody for watching. Keep go follow our socials. We've been posting shorts every single day. We got a little bit grilled about our MLB hitters one the other day, but a lot I could say about that. We'll be here all day. But yeah, other than that, keep an eye out for Tuesday. Our goal is for our first trivia style video to come out Tuesday, so it's gonna be a little bit different. But then we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl Friday, give out some picks, do probably a little parlay. Eric will probably be a little more nervous when we get closer.
I'm not focused about that parlay at all.
Well, no.
No, nervous about the game, yes. Yeah. Parlay,
I should announce that I will be against you. I placed a 10-leg parlay the other night. Just like 9 favorites in college basketball, was an absolute sweat. Michigan State went to like overtime with Rutgers. It was ridiculous. But all 9 favorites hit. So now I have the Seahawks at plus 270 in the Super Bowl just to win. 2.5 unis to win, about $25 to win $90. So that's my play for the Super Bowl. Nice. So I will be against you, but I wish you the best of luck when we get there. But we'll talk about the Super Bowl when we get closer. But anything else you guys got?
Royal Rumble this weekend.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Had to get it in there.
Let's go with the Maverick.
Maverick, he's a name. I really don't know much anymore. Big WWE guy, always have been. I will be.
I don't know much anymore, but a big WWE guy. I did listen to work the other day. I was listening to a podcast. I listened to Little Yachty on Impulsive for some reason, and he loves the WWE.
Of course he does.
Guy said he cried during the John Cena.
Yeah, it's brutal times. Brutal times. But I'll be 2 p.m. If you want to watch that Saturday, I'll be tuned in. I love the Royal Rumble.
Where is it? If it's at 2
I forget. It's somewhere in. I already forget. It's in another country.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But hopefully Rey Mysterio is battling it out and gonna get his second.
Don't let Logan Paul get those brass knuckles again.
I don't know. He's like 50, so they'll probably put him at 28 and then just have him knocked out because he can't go that long.
The Royal Rumble is in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
I wonder why. There's no money there at all. So
nice arena, I'm sure.
They do go around all the time for the pay-per-views now, but I'm excited, so I had to get that in there. I love the WWE.
Well, all right.
Drop a like if you like the video.
Yeah, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Other than that, peace out.